Hey guys, welcome back to a quick video response here to our good friend in the community, MajoraT. He posted actually this question to the community, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I'm super late, but I really wanted to do a video response. I just been very tied up with work and very little free time to dedicate to YouTube, but I did want to squeeze this one in because I thought it was a good question that I think it was originally posed by BioPhoenix in the MajoraT Your Sworn Brothers Discord server. So the question for the table topics was what are some games that you wish you would have played or completed sooner? I think I'm going to go the extra mile a little bit and go with a series that I wish I would have played sooner. And I'm going to touch base on a couple of video game series that I have very little or no involvement at all playing games. And these are very popular franchises and series that it may surprise a few of you guys. Especially, I've been playing video games for 30 plus years. I'm an old fart, I know that. And gaming has been one of my main hobbies, like throughout, since I was since my childhood. So you would think that having 30 plus years of time, with gaming being one of my main hobbies, you would think that I would have played a little bit of everything, but that's not the case. I think it's incredibly hard to cover ground for different genres and systems and games and series. And yeah, so these are some of the surprising video game series that I have not really spent too much time with. The first one is the Final Fantasy series. I just picked, Final Fantasy X Remaster as an example, but I own a multitude of Final Fantasy games. Now, recently I did beat Final Fantasy VII Remake, the Part 1, so I was telling myself, that's only part 1, so it's not a full Final Fantasy game. So I still have that kind of like, I have not beaten a mainline Final Fantasy game. I guess check mark. It's not checked on my to-do list. So I do want to push myself to eventually play one of the mainline Final Fantasy games. I did beat a couple of the spin-off games like the Crystal Chronicle games, Final Fantasy Explorers on the 3DS, the Theatrhythm games also. So I do have exposure to the Final Fantasy game and series and characters, but I have not completed a mainline game unless you want to count 7 Remake Part 1 as a game. But I do have a lot of homework to do because you guys know me, I do love JRPGs, and Final Fantasy is kind of like the staple series for that genre. So I would like to definitely delve a little bit more into these games for sure. The next one is actually not very surprising to me, at least, because I guess I became a Xbox user as of recent, I guess last generation, by purchasing an Xbox One, but I never owned a original Xbox, nor did I ever own a 360. So Halo is kind of like the, I guess, it's the representation of the Xbox system, and the whole Xbox universe is centered around Master Chief and the Halo games. I have not completed a single Halo game. So here I have the perfect game to amend that I guess problem, which is the Master Chief collection. All the games I hear, and I do want to say that I started the first Halo game, Combat Evolved, and I got halfway through it and then I got sidetracked. So no excuses. I have the tools here to play more Halo games, and it's something that I really want to do because first and foremost I do enjoy first-person shooters. It's one of my favorite genres, and I do enjoy kind of like very well-made first-person shooters. So the Halo games are definitely up there in terms of fan base and reviews. They're very solid games, so definitely want to explore more into the I guess Xbox exclusive series, which I already did with the Gears games. I already beaten a couple of the Gears of War's games, and now I'm slowly but surely making my way through Xbox exclusives that were released throughout the years. But Halo is kind of like the main one, the elephant in the room, if you will, for me to start playing and completing games. Now the next one is probably the major one, in my opinion, because I'm an old school gamer at heart. I've been gaming since the late 80s, early 90s, and here's the one, the Castlevania series. It's another one where I own a couple games, and I haven't really completed a mainline game. I did complete Castlevania 64, the first one, which is not the best game, as you guys may know. But I do want to I do want to dedicate some time and play the Castlevania games. I know it's almost embarrassing because it's on a genre that I love, which is the Metroidvania types of games. Adventure and exploration are just great features that I look in games. And the Castlevania series obviously has that to offer. So I do plan to amend that by purchasing the Castlevania, I think, Anniversary Collection, which has a lot of the old school games on the NES. And the Super Nintendo, I think Super Castlevania 4 is also included in that package. And I think there are rumors where the Game Boy Advance game, which are very highly acclaimed by fans of the series, supposedly there are rumors that an advanced Castlevania Advance collection will get released at some point. So sign me up. Recently I did beat Bloodstained, Curse of the New Moon, or whatever it's called, and I love that game. So I can only imagine that I'm going to enjoy the classic Castlevania games. So I just have to dedicate time. A lot of the earlier ones are not incredibly long games, I don't think, so no excuses. I have to delve into the Castlevania series at one point, hopefully sooner rather than later. And I want to close the video. Again, I have many known series out there that I haven't really put a dent, but this is another one that I keep hearing great things about these games. And I'm talking about the Persona games. I do have Persona 5 here, but I do own Persona 4 Golden, both on the Vita and on Steam. So I'm even buying, I'm double dipping on some of these games, but I have not played them. I have to admit the length of these games is a little bit on the overwhelming side. RPGs that are close to 100 hours to complete, I believe. So that it's a little bit scary when you start a game, but I keep hearing great things about these games. They're very addicting, really good gameplay, just fantastic JRPGs. Persona, another series that I do want to, at the very least, start playing 4 and 5, which are kind of like the most modern ones. I think a lot of the earlier Persona games I've heard are very hard to get into, just because they're older types of games. But definitely I want to do more of a dent in the Persona and also the Shin Megami Tensei series, which I've only played 4 on the 3DS extensively, and that's about it. So I do want to make more of a dent in the both Persona and SMT games. So with that being said, those are the games that I decided to talk about. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Take it easy.